tender harbinger of spring. As the winter gave way to the warm summer sun, Dwight Evans showed the way. And it wasn't the midnight ride of Paul Revere. The ride for the Red Sox had begun. And there was Mr. Consistency, that brilliant night when he wrote his name in gold letters in the Red Sox history book and in the history book of Major League Baseball. There was another great individual of many, and he came up with his blow against the team the Red Sox figured to meet in the fall. First place, the 15th of May. The ride had just begun. But there were injuries, there were bills to be paid, and Nipper and Hurst were called upon to pay them. But the ride continued, and the veteran hands of Tom Seaver came aboard. And then there was trouble, a low spot. The bubble had burst, and whatever other label you want to put on it, it was a temper tantrum. But back to Mr. Consistency. Once more, the Red Sox were in good hands. The calm, cool, and capable hands of Roger Clemens, and all was well by the end of August. And summer has gone, and fall is here. And the Toronto Heroics has slowed up the ride, but only for another day or two. It is inevitable. The Red Sox are on their last few strides to the American League Eastern Division flag.
National Broadcasting Company, now in its 6th decade of bringing you baseball's memories. Baseball's milestones. Baseball's majesty. And baseball's magical moments. NBC Sports proudly presents the Major League Baseball Game of the Week. Today from Fenway Park, it's the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Boston Red Sox.
As we look at the Toronto Blue Jay lineup, it'll be Tony Fernandez at short and Garth Orge at second base. Damaso Garcia is the designated hitter. George Bell in left field and Jesse Barfield in right. With Willie Upshaw at first, Kelly Gruber the third baseman, Ron Shepard in center field, and Buck Martinez behind the plate against left-hander Bruce Hurst. Fastball hit up the middle behind second, knocked down by Marty Barrett. The feed is in time. He just did get the ball to Spike Owen before the arrival of Damaso Garcia. No runs, one hit, a fine play by Marty Barrett, and at the end of half an inning, the Blue Jays nothing and the Red Sox coming up. Here the way the Sox go: Wade Boggs at third, Marty Barrett at second, and Billy Buckner at first. Jim Rice in left field, Don Baylor the DH, Dwight Evans in right field, Tony Armas in center, Rich Gedman the catcher, Spike Owen the shortstop. And trying to stop them, right-hander Jim Clancy. He's 14-12. No record. Down he goes, second strikeout for Jim Clancy. The Sox are gone in order. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. I mean, he might as well be at the plate. The only thing he doesn't do is swing at the pitch.
Yeah, he's taking all the time. See, hitters do that sometimes when a relief pitcher comes in. That is a bit unusual.
Fouled away. I wonder why he doesn't swing. Seriously, he's going through all the motions. Why wouldn't you swing at the pitch?
Well, I would think it's the angle. I would imagine he's just trying to see how fast or you know, the speed, whether it's the curveball or the fastball. Swinging, I don't believe would help him from that angle.
We're in the fourth inning, no score. Got him on the inside corner.
That's good pitching. Just simply good pitching.
Not if you ask George Bell. And Bell is not congratulating Bremigan on a good call.
pitch. You call it. Well, if you're going to umpire with a television camera, I'd call it a strike.
Two down, fourth inning, no score. Got him. And all the practicing, Barfield has struck out twice. Half a dozen strikeouts for Bruce Hurst, no score. Boggs hitting .353, a strike. Remember, Mattingly is 0 for 2. Boggs 0 for 1, and that's right to the minute. Ground ball back of first base, juggled by Upshaw, feeds his pitcher, got him. Oh, the Red Sox man. And here comes John McNamara to talk to Larry Barnett. I know that, John, Larry Barnett said. So one away.
He had good position on it, Barnett did.
Oh. Looked like he beat it.
Well,
2-2. Got him. Fourth strikeout. That's 12 in a row. A perfecto for 4. We'll be right back after down in the fifth inning. After a fine play by Barfield and Wright, a super play by Tony Fernandez. And here's Dwight Evans.
it's kind of a play you used to see only an Ozzie Smith make, and here's your kid Fernandez making, and the way they talk about him, like he's been making them all year and hitting.
Well, you see two plays back-to-back like that, and you begin to start looking at the zeros. Evans struck out in the second inning. Ball one.
Can you believe the accuracy he had on that throw there?
Unreal. Even he had to laugh when he looked over at John Hirschbeck, the third base umpire. Driving him off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Dwight Evans. Tony Armas on deck. No score in the fifth inning. Jim Clancy trying to do a number on Boston. After Jimmy Key pitched a masterpiece last night and shut him out 1-0. That was challenging. Here's my best fastball up and in. See what you can do with it.
He had it in a good spot, and he had something on it.
2-1. Probably the best game Evans had with the bat 6 years ago. He had a 5-hit game against Toronto. But that's a long time ago. 3-1. High drive into deep left field. She is away out and gone. The batter is Tony Armas. And evidently, we're not familiar with games here. Evidently, they don't have curtain calls. If you don't get a curtain call breaking up a perfect game with a 1-0 home run, you'll never get one.
It was a 3-ball, 1-strike count.
Slow roller down to Fernandez, who one hand's on the dead run to get him. So everything goes on one swing by Evans. At the end of 5, 1-0 Boston. Here's another edition of Characters of the Game. First, a strikeout pitcher and very much on his game. High fly ball to straightaway center. Armas one step in, and now another. No runs, a hit, a man left at the end of 6 1/2, 1-0 Boston. And now here's another edition of Baseball Remembers.
Talking about a good play, you might remember the last time that Baylor was at the plate. Tony Fernandez went into the hole. His momentum carried him out into shallow left field, and Tony made a remarkable throw to Upshaw to get Baylor, and at the time keep the perfect game alive. But then Evans came up and hit the 3-1 pitch for a home run. Hot one inside third and down the line. Barrett will score on a long single in the corner.
Down the line, good effort by Gruber. And you see, he cuts it off before it gets to the wall, which it kept the base runner at second base, Buckner, and they've changed that ruling again, Vin. It's gone from fielder's choice to error to base hit.
Armas followed by Gedman, with Buckner at second base, Baylor at first. 2 out. Center field. Barfield going back and over and backhands it on the run. So the Sox get a run on a couple of hits and leave 2, and at the end of 7, 2-0 Boston. Will be called away, and Cliff Johnson comes up out of the Blue Jays dugout, and Johnson will be coming up trying to get him even. Johnson, as a pinch hitter, is 5 for 11 with a home run and a .455 average. And how about that footnote? So you know what Jimmy Williams trying to do. He's trying to get even with one swing.
And he'll get his hacks as we look at Jimmy Williams.
Johnson, with all of those other credentials and so impressive, nevertheless is 0 for 20. He has had a sprained right finger, and evidently that's been bothering him as far as gripping the bat, and it's evidenced by the fact that he has had so much trouble getting a base hit. Johnson was on the DL and was activated on the 7th of August. So 2 down, Fernandez at first, Johnson the potential tying run, Damaso Garcia on deck. 2-0 Boston, top of the 8th. 2 out. Runs, 4 hits for Boston, no runs, 6 hits for Toronto. Fernandez held on by Buckner. In there. 1-1. Looked like he turned that over a little bit.
He wanted that ball to be outside part of the plate. They're really expecting Johnson to pull that ball, and you would have to, because you're looking for the home run. But the shortstop, Owen and Boggs, they're protecting that hole between short and third. There you see it. Look how close they are.
And as usual, there's no back line. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1.
Close.
See, there was the batter's box. Gone.
You're not going to be happy till they put 2x4s down there and paint them white.
Right. They're going to have to. Well, can you imagine if they suddenly decided to wipe out the blue line in hockey, or maybe they're going to erase the free throw line and
10-yard stripes.
That's right. Take care of football. How about tennis? They'll whack up the doubles lanes. Ground ball to third. Boggs down to Barrett. Good play by Marty. He had a backhand to throw that looked like it was heading to right field.
To a sinker.
No runs, a hit, a man left, and at the end of 7 1/2, Red Sox 2, Toronto nothing. 2-1. Check. 3-1. They're going to look down at Hirschbeck, no swing. So Wade Boggs, with a count 3 balls and 1 strike, hitting .352. The last we heard about Mattingly, he was 0 for 2 and walked intentionally. Boggs 0 for 3. Big bouncer over the mound, over second, into center field.
He battles for every base hit. You could see that he was going to go no further than the middle of the diamond over with that fastball. He was not going to pull that ball. He was just not going to pull it.
So there it is, right to the moment. Boggs base hit, and he is 4 points ahead of Don Mattingly. Throws his bat at it, a little roller to Manny Lee, who'll throw him out. No runs, 1 hit. A man left, and at the end of 8, Boston 2 and Toronto nothing. 33,358. That is just about capacity, maybe 200 shy. And they are here now to see if Bruce Hurst can get his 4th shutout. If he can beat Toronto, and more importantly, give the Red Sox the mathematical tie. A pop fly to Buckner on the right side. 1 away. They are 2 outs away from singing an old song here that begins for Boston. See Barfield. Yes, they are a game away from those pennants. This will clinch the tie. 1 and 2. Just think how fleeting fame is. Sic transit gloria. The champions of the American League East, 1985, mere acolytes at the ceremony today, the Toronto Blue Jays. Ground ball to shortstop. Spike Owen, and they are 1 out away from the tie.
And these fans are primed.
Hold on to your hat, John McNamara. The fun is just beginning. Hello, Houston. Hello, Atlanta. Hello, America. The Sox are 1 out away from clinching the tie. Strike 2 to Barfield, and Nick Bremigan stuck by the foul ball. You wouldn't know it from John McNamara, but this town is ready to explode.
Sharp fuse in his ballpark, man. They're ready, these fans.
No balls and 2 strikes to the leading home run hitter, Jesse Barfield. Pop foul off to the right and out of play. Oh, I'd love to hear a well-behaved, roaring crowd. It's their show. Let's just watch and listen above anything else. Bruce Hurst trying to shut out the team that has scored the most runs in the American League. Got him. John McNamara has almost got it. And the grand dame that is Fenway Park in its 75th year, not a hair out of place, as the Red Sox and Bruce Hurst shut out last year's champions 2-0. Hurst, with his 4th shutout of the year, recorded his 9th strikeout by getting the home run leader in the American League. And Hurst has given the Red Sox and John McNamara the mathematical tie.
He reacts. He will look for his wife. He finds her, and then John will head for the runway. Typical of him, all year long, the players have kind of lined up and congratulated each other as they come off the field. John says, I wait for him in the runway because they throw the ball, they catch the ball, they hit the ball, and it's time enough for when they come in.
Well, this week's NBC Miller Lite player of the game would have to be Bruce Hurst. And Miller Lite is happy to present a check for $1,000 in the name of left-handed Bruce Hurst to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. He was brilliant. No runs, 6 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts, and a mathematical tie. And it is California, here you come to Boston. We'll be back. The American League Championship Series begins here at Fenway Park October 7th. The Major League Baseball Game of the Week has been brought to you by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's only one light beer. By Castrol, the motor oil engineered for today's smaller cars. By Howard Johnson Hotels and Lodges. And by the full line of 1986 Volkswagen. We'll be back at festive Fenway Park right after this. When St. George pitched his 4th shutout, his middle name, Bruce V. Hurst, V-E-E. But today, the V has to be for victory.
Definitely, and he's down there waiting, Vin.
Well, let's go down and pick him up. Bruce, heartiest congratulations. You really pitched a gem.
Thanks a lot, Vin. I really appreciate it. It's been a long time coming to being a pennant racer here in Boston, and I want to make the most of it.
Joe and I both were wondering, sitting up here behind the plate, some of the rotations on the ball. Is there an extra pitch that you're using?
I learned a forkball probably beginning of last season and really didn't start getting command of it till the middle of last year, and it's been a big pitch for me. It's given me one more pitch. Kind of makes it so I don't have to throw the breaking ball as often, and it gives me just that one extra dimension.
They were chasing it out of the strike zone. Where do you try to start that pitch, Bruce?
I found that the best success I get with it if I start it down in the strike zone. Just make sure I get the ball going on a downward plane and let the ball fall out of the strike zone, or if it stays in the strike zone, it's still a low strike.
I'm going to ask you kind of a question out of left field. I usually hear a young fellow like you say, I've waited a long time for a day like this. When did you first start thinking about World Series and playoffs and league championships?
I was probably about 5 years old. I've been dreaming about something like this all my life. And my very first year in pro ball, I got to play on a championship team in the Penn League, and I haven't done anything like it since. And you know, I came up here in 1980, and it was right after 1978 and 75 and all that, and they still had all those players on the team that went to the series, and I'd hear them talking about it and things, and I knew that's where I wanted to pitch.
Bruce, I know you don't have a monitor down there on the field, but you will see yourself on every newscast in Boston for the next few days. It is a magnificent moment of the dream coming to fruition. You're into the windup, you're pitching to the American League home run hitting Jesse Barfield, and then you jumped and reached for the sky.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I remember when I was a kid, I got to see films of Don Larson and Yogi Berra jumping each other's arms, and I don't know why. I've always wanted to do that on a championship team, and I guess that's about as close as I'll come for right now anyway.
Bruce, how much is that left field wall on your mind when you pitch?
Not that much. I kind of found that wall will help me as much as it'll hurt me.
How?
Well, it'll take away a lot of home runs. A lot of balls are out of the park. Like tonight, Gruber's ball was a double, where maybe in another ballpark it might have a chance of being a triple or a home run. And I've had a couple balls this year that are hit hard out there that are singles and doubles. It gives away a few doubles, but I'll keep them in the ballpark.
I'm sure you're well aware of your record here at Fenway Park. You've won 8 and lost only 2.
Yeah, I've thrown well here this year. I feel really comfortable throwing here right now, and I feel like I know where I want to make them hit the ball. And a lot of us have getting the ball in good spots. Getty's done a great job behind the plate. Richie Gedman's come so far behind the plate, it's incredible. And we have a great rapport, and we know what we want to do. It's, you know, we're two people, but we're thinking the same way, and it's a great feeling.
Well, Bruce, we're going to show you leap one more time to the sky. We want to thank you very much for a most informative interview, and our heartiest congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, man. Pleasure.
In that game where Bruce Hurst pitched his shutout, Jim Clancy was pitching a perfect game going into the 5th inning with 2 out. Dwight Evans came up with 2 out in the 5th inning, and Evans promptly unloaded a home run. For Dwight, his 26th home run of the year, his 95th run batted in. That broke the spell, and even though Clancy remained tough, the Red Sox were able to scratch for 3 hits and a run in the 7th inning, and then Bruce Hurst made that 2-0 lead stand up. And perhaps the biggest difference in the game today was when 2 out in the 5th inning, the count to Dwight Evans went to 3 balls and 1 strike. And Evans, looking for the fastball, got what he wanted, and he hit it out of sight. And I think we've just about saddled and harnessed up Dwight Evans. Dewey, congratulations. You've done it again. A big hit in a clutch moment.
Well, thank you, Benny. Thank you very much. It was, we've had some outstanding pitching, and we knew that all we had to do was get a run. And okay.
Hey, that was the producer talking to you. You finish your sentence. This is Joe.
Okay. No, I heard something else.
Yeah, I know you did. Were you sitting on that fastball?
3-1, absolutely.
Oh, brother, were you? How much does that wall enter in your mind as a batter?
It used to quite a bit, but not anymore. In fact, it really doesn't help me as a hitter. It hurts the right-handed hitters and helps the left-handed hitters. Don Baylor has only hit 6 home runs or 7 home runs here all year. That's just, I think that was my 7th this year. We're more line drive type hitters, and that ball really hurts us more than helps us.
Dewey Evans, born in Santa Monica, and now suddenly will be wearing the black hat and be the villain against the California Angels. What a story.
Sounds good to me. I'm looking forward to it. They're a tough ball club, and they're not going to lay down, and it's just going to be everyone on that ball club, most of them have been to playoffs, and there's only about 3 of us that have been on playoffs. So it's going to be a fun time for us.
Dwight, we don't want to keep you out here anymore. We sure appreciate your cooperation, but I know you want to go in and celebrate with your buddies.
Sure do.
Go to it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dwight Evans. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NBC Baseball and director of today's game, Harry Coyle. Today's game of the week, produced by Steve Dan. Pre-game, produced by Les Dennis. Technical director, Lenny Stucker. Joe, it was a dandy.
It was a beauty. It was a beauty.
A big crowd here at Fenway, 33,358. And a reminder, the NFL season continues at 12:30 tomorrow. NFL 86 and your host, Bob Costas. Join us for doubleheader action. The undefeated Seattle Seahawks tackling the 3-0 Washington Redskins. In the second half, some of you will see the Denver Broncos against the New England Patriots or the San Diego Chargers against the LA Raiders. Others will see the Jets take on the Indianapolis Colts. Check your listing for the games in time in your area. So Roger Clemens couldn't do it last night, but he did well enough. He pitched a shutout, only to have a home run by Jesse Barfield beat him. So knowing you needed a shutout, Hurst provided that for John McNamara. For Joe Garagiola, Vin Scully saying so long from Boston.
This has been a presentation of NBC Sports, the leader in innovative sports television.